Okay, so in a specific way, we know that when we are giving someone any kind of feedback, it should be not evaluative, or it should not be very general. Rather, it should be specific. The point which is in discussion, the thing which is in discussion, that particular problem should be specified there. I have given you ample examples in the previous slide, so I'm not going to do that here again. You'll understand what do we mean by specific and descriptive. So whenever you are creating a feedback, you should include all these points. Finally, we have here, by here we are what we are focusing on here is timeliness. That person who is there to hear the feedback, they should be ready to accept the feedback. There should be acceptance on their part. If they are not ready or to receive the feedback, if they do not take it in the same manner as you are intending, then it is useless. There is no point of giving that kind of feedback to anyone. Especially when we say here, it means as we discussed, that timeliness doesn't mean as quicker it is, as better it is. We are talking about that the person who is receiving the feedback, his mental status should be so normal or so comfortable, where he is able to grasp all the information. We should not try to give informations again and again to the person who is already overwhelmed there. You give a kind of information to someone, he is overwhelmed. This is not the right time to give the second information or second feedback there. You need to wait for a proper time when that person will be in normal mindset, where he can grasp new information. So this is what we call timeliness. We have to check whether that person is ready to receive all that information, that feedback, or not. And if he is ready to hear all that, then only we should include it. If we focus on these four things, we can improve our feedback. This is again the same kind of thing is being extended here, developing effective feedback skills. Focus on specific behavior. We have just discussed it, that whatever specific action needs the feedback, that should be mentioned there. Second is keep feedback impersonal. It means it should not be something personal. There should be no personal attacks. Whatever you are doing, it should be attached to something professional. It should be attached to something where they can make any improvement. And we should always check whether this is the place where we should speak or not. If it is something personal, we should certainly not say anything or mention anything there. Goal oriented and well timely, we have just discussed. Then ensure understanding. How we do this? If you, it's just like when we teachers, we tell you something difficult or complex, what we do, we ask questions from you. So when we receive your replies, on the basis of that, we evaluate that whether you have understood it properly or not. So the same kind of thing can be done by the person who is giving a feedback. If you think there is some misunderstanding, if you think they are not getting what your point is, you should always ask them questions. And when you receive those answers from them, you can evaluate whether the message has been taken properly or not. So always ensure that whether that person has understood the message properly or not. Finally, we have control. So it is like whatever information you are giving, it should be directed towards the behavior of that person. And how you can control it, when it is negative feedback, especially when it is negative feedback, it is very important to control the way you are revealing it to the person. He should not think that you are biased, that you are trying to personally attack that person, or it is something subjective. Here you have to take control of the situation, and you should try to give this feedback to them in a way where they can see the point why it is being made, why this feedback is being given to you. So control is very important, and that when you are giving this feedback, it should not go out of control of the person who is giving the feedback, and you make sure that recipient, the person who is receiving the feedback, he is able to do something about it. If it is not specific, if it is not clear to that person, and they misunderstand it, that they think that you are biased, then the condition will go out of hands, because they can, if they find out that these are biased allegations only, there is nothing to give evidence or support these facts, they can even make complaints against you. So it is better that you check the validity, and then only you make feed these kind of allegations, or critical feedback, give critical feedback to these people. Okay, so these points were kind of revision only. Now we come to the main point, which is feedback loop. If you look at this picture clearly, you will see that we have discussed it so many times by now. This is the same communication process. Here we have elaborated the feedback, in the column which said feedback in detail. So there are two green columns. In the first one we have source, and in the second one we have receiver or responder. So what happens, from the source, they encode the message. This person is in need of sending a message. They are going to encode it. They will check the language, the same kind of language which is understood by both the parties, that will be selected here, and then there will be selection of channel. With the help of this channel, and the message will be transmitted. Then decoding. This receiver will receive the information, and he will decode it, he or she, and they, after understanding it, what will happen, second process will start. From here the second side of this process starts, which is generally called feedback. But what is this feedback? Again, this receiver or responder will become the sender. Now he is the source. He has prepared a message. This will be called encoding, encoding of the message by receiver. Now this receiver is selecting a medium. Through this, they are going to send the message, which will be decoded by the source, the person who encoded the first message. They are going to decode this message, and on the basis of further messages will be drafted. So you can see that this is a very simple feedback loop, where this cycle keeps moving, and with the help of this process, people keep communicating with each other. And whenever there is noise, as we know, in decoding, encoding, or in transmission through medium, then there will be disruption in communication process. So there's no need to go into that. Barriers we have already discussed. Here what will happen, what we need to see, that this person who will receive now the feedback, he is again asking a question. So that can also be called feedback. From one person, the question was sent, another person answered it. Now there is another question, another answer. So this is the loop in which in this information keeps transmitting from one end to the another. I hope this one is clear. It's very simple.
Clear, ma'am, clear.
Thank you. So what are the advantages and disadvantages when we talk about this feedback loop, this two-way process? What happens? This provides better understanding. This is very obvious thing. When this is one-way communication, people are unable to give feedback to each other. There will be no clarity. But when it is two-way communication, and people are available to make clarification, to send and receive more messages, there will be better understanding. It can be oral communication through phone, or it can be in written. In written, it is going to take more time, but in for face-to-face or in oral communication, there is better understanding. We have every chance to get a better understanding here. Second is frustration is reduced. So obviously, when it is a communication where both the parties are present and they are giving explanation to each other, frustration will be removed. When it takes too much time to reach the other party with whom you want clarification, it leads to frustration. Or we at certain time, what happens, you are trying to reach the party, and they are unwilling to do this. So even in that case, frustration is enhanced. But here, when you are in face to face, there are no excuses. The other person has to reply, and they will have to give answers. So frustration is reduced when two-way communication is done. Favorable feelings are usually generated. So we have discussed it. When in oral communication, people are face to face, they do not focus on the messages only. Our personalities, our habits, our other individual traits, they are also observed by the other party, and according to that, people try to use them. If you watch in movies, they discuss most of the big business deals are done when they are in, they are in clubs, or they are in sports alleys, and those kind of places. They discuss most of the important stuff there. I don't know why it is done, but this is a pattern. This is generally believed that most of the business deals are finalized in outside the offices rather than inside the offices. So and this happens when you sit with a person, you are exchanging other information, rather than focusing on business only. Then favorable feelings are usually generated. You strike a relationship there, where you people are being friendly with each other. So this is why, favorable feelings are usually generated when it is two-way communication. Accuracy is improved. This is obvious, that if you are facing any trouble, if you have any confusion, you will ask for the clarification, and you will receive the clarification. And with the help of that, what will happen? Accuracy will be improved. Most of the information which you have received, that is tried and tested, and now it is authentic as well. As they say, coming from the horse's mouth. So what do we mean by horse's mouth? Someone who is reliable. So when you are in business with another party, you are dealing with those people who are in control of that organization, who are in higher authorities. So you always get authentic information there. So in two-way communication, with the help of feedback loop, we can achieve accuracy. Now there are disadvantages. These are really very strong, disadvantages. First one is a strong expression of disagreement. So when you are, it is one way. You have released an information, you have released a notice, or you have implemented a policy. Now there is no scope of discussion there. But when it is two-way, when there is feedback loop, people can go against you. They can discuss with you. They can refuse accepting your policies or rules. So when it is two-way communication, a strong expression of disagreement is, always possible. That people who do not agree with each other, they are involved in a feedback loop, and ultimately deals are generally not made here. So this is first disadvantages. Second one is possibility of separation from each other. So we face it very often, because of this network issue and other things. We get separated from each other, and when it does happen, what happens? Communication fails. Certain times we face such bad network issues that we have to cancel the classes. So what happens there? No classes are there. So in the same manner, when there is feedback loop where two people are involved, and due to their busyness, due to other technical glitches, other problems, there is a possibility of separation from each other, and in that case, there will be no communication. Finally, we have cognitive dissonance. So do you know what is cognitive dissonance? Anyone would like to try? Okay, let me explain it to you. When we say cognitive dissonance, all of us have certain values, attributes, attitudes, beliefs. We learn few things from our childhood, from our family, and these are our inherent qualities, or we can say this is our attitude towards life. But when you are in communication with someone else, what happens? They can impress you, or they can influence you in some manner. And what happens there? There is a kind of clashing. There is a kind of conflict in the beliefs. It's just like you happen to have a deal with someone who is not very honest. They believe that if they use the material of something inferior quality, there's no problem in that. They will have more benefit there. So what is happening here? If you are someone very honest, who believes in doing everything honestly, you want to use the best available material, so here you will feel a kind of discomfort. This discomfort is arising because your beliefs and values are not matching with the other party. So that this thing is very common when there are two people, when two-way communication is there. Cognitive dissonance may arise very frequently because we are not always ready to understand or accept the new information, or we do not like to change our attitude very easily. So cognitive dissonance may arise because of this feedback loop, because people are ready to influence each other. Are these clear? Advantages and disadvantages of feedback loop?
Madam,
Yeah.
cognitive dissonance become disadvantage, ma'am. I don't understand. That is about up to assume, ma'am. If we take it as, if we believe that our belief is wrong, then we will change. Otherwise, we would take it as disadvantage, right?
Look, it is disadvantage because when you go for when you go in this professional world, these things are very rapid. On daily basis these things are happening. It's just like a person who is your boss, you see him indulging in these kind of activities every day, whenever there is a deal, whenever there is a project. So you somewhere you will have to make adjustment. Okay, you do not think about feedback loop as something very exclusive. This is what we are doing every day. Right now, we are communicating with each other. This is because of the feedback loop. Okay, you ask the question, I'm replying, then you can ask again a question. So here again, dissonance may arise because what you see, I cannot see. Okay, or what you believe, I do not believe. So this kind of conflict can happen anywhere when two parties are involved. So this is why we say that in feedback loop, cognitive dissonance arises. So when you say that if we agree or we do not agree, it depends. There are people who adjust or adapt to new scenarios or new environment very easily. When they see that, okay, this is something out of my control, it's better, I accept it the way it is. So there will be no dissonance. But if you find it difficult that, okay, I have to put my signature on a check which is quoting a number which is not real, so what are you going to do? This is something where you will have to prove later why you passed that check or why you signed that check. So you will have to take the responsibility, and this responsibility you are taking is not because of your wish. You are doing it because someone else is forcing you to do this. Are you getting my point, Narayan?
Yes, ma'am. If it is real, wrong thing, someone is forcing. If it is right thing, we are doing it as our will, right? Yes, ma'am.
Yes, that is the thing. Your beliefs are matching. If you have the same attitude as the other person, there will be no dissonance. This dissonance will arise when you find something wrong, which you are not ready to accept. Then there will be cognitive dissonance.
Okay, ma'am. It is not about what is right and what is wrong. Then it is about just beliefs, right, ma'am?
Yes, look, there are several conditions where it is the line is very fine. You cannot decide. It can be, right from your side, but it cannot be right from my side. And this is why we say that we are heterogeneous. We are not homogeneous. Heterogeneous means we have different way of thinking. We do not think similarly. So they are very minute things. When you talk to your parents, you find that your ideas do not match. What is right about according to them, it's old fashioned according to you. Okay, and what is right according to you, that can be dishonesty according to them. So this is the real scenario. We have no right to judge other people, but yes, we all of us have our conscience, and according to that we take our decisions.
Yes, ma'am. Got it, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Okay, so let's move to the next part, which is DFIR. So when we give feedback, there are generally two models which are followed when we give feedback to someone. This is called, first one is called sandwich method. So what happens in sandwich method, when we talk about sandwich method, this is generally what happens in real life as well, when not only from someone senior or teacher, it is what you people also do. If you have to tell one of your friend that, the way he dresses up, you don't like that and the way, okay, that others are making fun of that friend of yours. Now you want to tell him this particular thing. How you are going to do this? Anyone? These kind of things happen every day, no? There are people who love to talk very loudly. They are very loud, and now it's just like, in your family there are members who, whenever they start talking, they are so loud that all the people are uncomfortable. So you have to tell them, but then they become very angry there, that okay, you are pointing out towards me like I don't understand. So in the same manner, you have a friend who, the way he dresses up, he thinks that it is in, or it is something very fashionable, but that people are making fun of that person. How are you going to tell them? Any idea? Just try it. We do it every day. Okay, so don't you people have friends? What am I supposed to get from this? Look, when there's, yes, anyone, yes, Bharat.
Ma'am, now we are at home and we don't meet people so often. So
Are
yeah,
you
we
have
have.
done your you have done your high school, your senior secondary, you had friends there. This is not exclusive to engineering only. It happens. Yes.
Ma'am, in this case, we'll try to acknowledge him with the kind of fashion
Mhm.
that we are. I mean, the kind of fashion. We'll try to give him some knowledge about it so that he can understand.
Okay, that can be one way. Very good, Gaja. What can be another way? Okay, when you tell someone that okay, the fashion is this and the way you are getting dressed up, they can be angry. Although there is always this scope of other people or person getting angry. So what we generally do, it is called sandwich method. Here we start with something which is sweet, which is pleasing or appreciating. Then we come to the main part. Here we tell them what is the exact problem here, and then we end it with the help of another appreciation or something which will keep them calm. Suppose I give you an example here. Suppose that all of you you are working somewhere. So the supervisor has observed that when you go out for your break, in lunch break, you people always come late. When you return, it is always late. You take excess time there. So what he is going to do, he'll tell you that all of you are very, very efficient people. You people are very hardworking. So first thing here, the first slice of this sandwich comes, where the bread is there. First appreciation is there. Now the main thing, the stuffing is coming. He'll tell you that, but I have observed that most of you do not turn up on time or do not return on time when your lunch is over. When the break hour is over, you should try to come back on time, be punctual. Now after saying this, he will bring the another slice, the final bread, the piece of the bread, so that the sandwich is complete. He'll tell you, but I know that you people are efficient, very intelligent, so you will remember this and you will try to be punctual next time. So this is
Ma'am,
what we called, yes.
ma'am, can you repeat that part again? From which you were saying that the people were late. Couldn't
Okay,
hear.
so
Sorry.
okay, I can repeat the whole example, no problem, Gaja. When we say sandwich method, there are two slices of breads and then there is stuffing. So these slices are appreciation and this stuffing is the main problem where you are giving the feedback. We are talking about negative feedback. So when you give the first appreciation, when you tell them that all of them are efficient workers, they are very hardworking, this is the first slice where you have appreciated their behavior. Now you put the stuffing. You tell them that you have observed that they are flouting the rules, they are flouting the commands, they are not coming back on time, they are not reporting back when their lunch hour gets over, they take extra time there. So this is the stuffing, the main discussion, the feedback. And now you will put the final slice of the bread. Here you will tell them, but I know that you people are very intelligent and efficient, so you will feel no problem. From next time you are going to observe the time limit given to you. So in this manner, what have you done? You have given them, this is called sweet coating. Okay, sweet coating is also a term. When you have to give someone a pill which is bitter pill, you try to sweet coat it, so that they do not get the bitter taste first there is something sweet, and so that they can easily swallow that. So in the same manner, when you are giving this sandwich method, or when you are giving feedback through sandwich method, you appreciate them in this starting and in the end, and in the middle you tell them the real feedback. Now you tell me how you are going to tell your friend that the way he dresses up is not right. Anyone? Try it. Raise your hands.
Ma'am,
Yes, Bharat. Yes, Bharat.
can I speak in Hindi?
Okay, now this is something I do not allow in my class, Bharat, because your classmates, some of your classmates do not understand Hindi.
Okay, sir. Ma'am, let me try. Wait a second.
Yeah, I have no problem in your broken English. You can use whatever words you want. We'll try to understand the meaning.
Ma'am, I will say my friend that I like your style, that clothing style, but
Mm-hmm.
now this is becoming old, so you should try something new.
Mm-hmm. So these are only two steps. Third step will be, Bharat, this is incomplete. You have given the first slice and the middle part, but what about the third one?
Ma'am, I'm thinking.
Anyone else would like to help him here? He is going in the right direction.
Oh, yes, ma'am. And also, we would first make sure that we are not pointing out or we are not judging him. Like we care about him, we should first let him know that first. That's why
Okay,
we're doing
okay.
this.
That is very good, Narayan. That should be included. That we are not making fun of you. We are just trying to help you out here. That should be reminded. So what we can do here, first we'll tell the friend of yours that okay, I really love the way you experiment with your clothing, and I really like the way you dress up, and I see you are enthusiastic about it. This is the first one. Then comes the main feedback. I have seen that, the kind of dresses you are wearing, they are outdated now. Most of the people do not dress up like this. And I think your personality, finally you will tell them, I think according to your personality, you should try something new. There are new stores out there. I would love to come with you if you want to shop for something new. Okay, so in this manner you can give them you in the feedback. So here you have told them that you like their way of dressing, and at the same time you have told them that you would love to hang out with them. There is no problem in hanging out with them because of their sense of dressing. Okay, so this is just a simple example. These things happen every day around us, and we have to, when you go to workplace, certain times you are sent by your seniors to give feedback to another subordinate. So you should know how to do this so that you do not offend that person. In future, he is after you. Whenever he gets a chance, he will take a revenge from you. So communication is very important. Whenever you have to give negative feedback, always consider the side of that person who is going to receive it, how he will feel, how she will feel when they will receive the information, and according to that, choose your tone, words very properly.
Ma'am,
Yes, Goja?
in the example, first one is the appreciation part, second one is the uh, uh, problem part. That means you are explaining the problem to the other person. What is the third one?
Again, we should close it with something which is going to appreciate them and tell them that it is not going to change anything or ruin anything.
How did you do that in this example?
Like in the end you told them that there are new stores there and you would like to hang out with them while letting them choose new kind of dressing there.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, so when you people follow these examples, remember that these are just just examples, general examples. There is no set way of doing this. It's not like always you are going to do this. It's the thing is, you should be careful when you are giving negative feedback. You should not offend the other person. Okay, finally we come to BFIR model. This is from the point of view of the sender, the person who is giving the feedback. This happens generally when the problem is really serious. It is a grave matter there, and you have to give a feedback because it is ruining many things there. So what do we call it? BFIR model. This is a kind of abbreviation. All the letters stand for something. B stands for behavior. My screen is visible to you, is it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay. So first one is behavioral description. In this step, there are 4 steps. So in this step, what do? You tell them what is that behavior which is causing the trouble, which needs a feedback there, because of which you are there to tell them that he needs to improve. So first we give them a behavioral description. This is B. Then feelings, F for feelings. Sorry, feelings are there. So what happens here? You tell them how you felt because of their behavior. There was a feeling which was created in you. You felt something, and what is that feeling? Then comes impact. In the impact, what do? We tell them how it is affecting us. That behavior has resulted in some kind of action there. So what is the impact? How it is impacting other people around him because of his behavior. And finally a request is made that how they can improve their behavior so that this situation do not occur again. Okay, so let's revise it. There are 4 steps. BFIR. In the behavioral description, we tell them there is something which is causing problem and trouble to other people who are surrounding them. So this is called behavioral description. Second one is feelings. So in this feelings, we tell them that because of their behavior, we have felt something. It is causing us to go through certain things. This will be called feelings. then impact how it is affecting all the people who are related to them because of their behavior, and then finally there is request how they can improve their behavior so this kind of situation is never repeated. If this is clear, let's look into the example so that it is more clear to you. I'm moving to the next slide.
Ma'am, can you please explain that behavior part again?
Okay, let's look into this example. This is a case study. I have explained it in the next slide very minutely, so you will understand what is behavior. Okay. Sorry.
Okay,
So this is the first study. Let us say that you belong to a team of 5 persons and one of you is being sent abroad by your company. Each member of the team is hoping to be that person. Your boss quietly lets you know that you will go abroad and tells you to keep it confidential till it is announced. Another friend of yours, Ashok, who is also close to the boss, comes to know this. He rushes to your cubicle to congratulate you. He stands at the cubicle's door and says loudly, "Congrats, I heard that you are going abroad." You silently motion to him to keep quiet and take him out of the office to the coffee machine. There you give him feedback as per the 4-step model. So here you can see that what has happened. 5 people out of 5 people, 2 people know about this and 3 people do not know about this. And just because of this action of Ashok, other people might have heard it. So we are not sure whether they have heard it or not because he was standing at the cubicle's door. So it is possible that only you have heard it, or it is possible that others have also heard it. So we are not going into the technicalities that what is the point of giving feedback. The thing is, an action has been done. Behavioral problem is there. Just because of this action, there is a behavioral problem, and we will have to give the feedback. So how we are going to do that? First, we'll tell them what is that action which has caused this trouble. So you will tell Ashok when you said congrats loudly in the office. So just like you, Ashok also knew that this is something confidential. The boss has not revealed it to everyone. So he should not have done this publicly. So this is the behavior. So you will tell him that Ashok, when you said congrats loudly in the office, that is the problem. That is the action which I have problem with. Feelings, how I felt. I really felt embarrassed since my teammates don't know about it. So because I am keeping it a secret, I have not shared it with other people, I feel embarrassed. Third is impact. My friends will think that I'm cheating them in some manner. Because 5 people who are running for the same position, if it is something transparent, I told you that we are not going into that direction. We are focusing on the feedback part only. So if 5 people are running for the same position, the result should be given to all of them at the same time. But if someone out of them knows the result and he doesn't share it with the other people, it means other people are going to be suspicious about his actions and intentions. So my friends will think that I'm cheating them in some manner. Finally, there is request. Could you please keep the matter a secret till it is announced by the boss? So here you want him to keep mum. You want him to keep quiet until this is announced, in authentic manner, officially by the boss to everyone. So till that time, Ashok should also keep it a secret. Okay, so this is the BFIR model. You can see that when we were talking about this behavioral description, as one of you wanted to know, there are actions which cause trouble or which cause nuisance there. Generally, it is because of trouble. The others are going because of your action. The description of that action is given in this step where we talk about behavioral description. You tell them, you remind them, you bring it to their notice that there is a problem because of their behavior, and they need to work on that. They need to remove it. Then there is feeling. Because of their behavior, you are feeling something which is not a good thing. Then there is impact. Because of this behavior, some things are going to be ruined there. Okay, it can impact other people's in negative way. And finally, there is a request, so that you can, in this request column, it can be something which you want them to do right now, or it can be something which is corrective. You may ask them something so that this kind of thing is not repeated in future. So that can also be included here. Is it clear now? BFIR.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so let's move to the next one. Okay, this one is this one I also included so that it is clear to you. Here, what is happening? You attended a meeting with your colleagues on a project where you were supposed to give the suggestions for improvement. The team leader was absent, so a team member was there to give the presentation. It was a very beautifully designed one with all the data included carefully. The problem was that the presenter read each and every word written there, and in the end, he did not bother to take the queries. Give him a feedback according to the model. So, what are we going to do? First, we will find out these 4 steps. You can see in the fourth step, I have included 3 or 4 points, although they are not needed, but we can always do this. In the first one, you are going to tell that teammate what happened there. So you could see that he was reading it rather than presenting, and he was not making any eye contact. So you are going to tell him straightforward, you were reading through the content on the PPT slides and you are not making any contact with your audience, eye contact or any kind of contact. So this is the behavior which needs a feedback. This is the behavior which has caused the problem. When the person did not ask for any queries, when the person was not making any eye contact, how could you give any feedback there? So, or any suggestion there? You can see that you were called because in the second line it is written, you were supposed to give the suggestions for improvement. When the person did not ask for any improvement, any query, how could you give this? So you are giving feedback for this particular action, or behavioral description will be given in this step. Feelings. How did you feel? You felt excluded. You did not care about getting feedback. So you excluded us, we felt excluded, and you never cared that people who are listening might have suggestions. You never asked for them, and you never received any of the suggestions from any of the members because you never asked for them. Then impact. So we could see that you were nervous. This has made us feel that you were nervous because it was not prepared by you. Somehow the team leader was supposed to do this, but as you are team member, it was your duty as well to understand everything about the project. So you were supposed to ask us for questions. So we have observed that you were nervous. And finally, there is a request. Ask their perception of what happened. They should also try to see in retrospect what happened there, and when a resolution or change is needed, focus discussion or solutions. So what you can do, you can ask, what ideas do you have for a more effective presentation? I have few ideas, would you like to hear them? So you can tell them next time when you are going to do this presentation, how you are going to make it effective. And if you want, I have certain ideas, I can help you with them. Okay, so and you can also tell them, next time please practice what you want to say more. I would be happy to help with this. Make notes to yourself about how you might elaborate on key points. So when we give presentation, we know that we are not supposed to read it there, rather with the help of bullet points we try to elaborate those points. So tell them that this is something which we need to do when we are giving presentations. Sorry. And finally, practice making eye contact with people, not only in meetings, but also one-on-one. So whenever you are communicating with other people, this is a good habit that you make eye contact. If you try to, if you try to steal, if you try to avert your eye contact, it is somehow observed that you are lying or you are not confident. So if you want to come across as a person who is confident, you should always make eye contact while you are communicating. Okay, this was again a scenario where we have given feedback on this BFIR model. We come to output and output impact. Generally, when we try to measure that the feedback which we have given, how it turned out and how much it has impacted our audience, not one-to-one in general. So these are the 4 parameters with the help of which we can check how much, how many people were covered with our feedback. So how do we do this? Audience coverage. First of all, you should try to find out the people who were targeted, people who were in need of the feedback, whether they have been included or not. So you should always check in the audience coverage where you send the feedback, has it been received by those people who are the target audience. Second is audience response. So on the basis of audience response, you can always find out how many people received the information. Here we are not talking about the result, just receiving. How many people could receive this information? And then there is communication impact. With the response, analysis of response, you can find out whether the intended action has been taken or whether the target audience has received it in the same manner or not. Finally, process of influence. So with the help of this, you try to find out what was that particular action with the help of which you could achieve this. Okay, let me give you here an example so that all these steps are clear to you. Suppose you are a kind of social worker. You are working in an area where most of the people who are working in a factory, they smoke. They smoke very frequently. So there are men, women, and kids, and you have found out that all of them are smoking. So here your duty is to convince them that smoking is bad for them. So how you are going to do this? First, you will prepare some questionnaire, or then you will find out that most of them are uneducated. So this questionnaire is going to be useless. So you prepare a kind of a rally is there, and you have invited some of the doctors or psychologists. They will sit there, they will do the counseling, and then they will try to tell them that this smoking is going to ruin their life, their kids life. So what is happening here? When you finally finish it, you try to find out how much it impacted them. So first you will check audience coverage. How many people turned up for this? It's just like when you tell them that you are going to, you are going to tell them how to quit smoking. So some of them are not coming. They don't want to quit smoking. They have their own lifestyle. Because of that pressure, menial work, frustration, weakness, poverty, they have their own reasons to do this. So you will have to check how many people were covered when you did this. Then how many people were actually listening. So when you receive this response from them that all of them were listening, then you try to put those questions with the help of which you find out whether they are convinced that they are going to quit smoking or not. So you will with the help of that, you will find out that how many have there out of them have really quitted their smoking, the habit of smoking. Finally, you will have to find out what was that thing which influenced the process. So if you go with the help of interviewing, that you distribute them questionnaire and then you ask them to take it, they are uneducated people, that will fail badly there. So if you are collect experts who speak English, so these are again people who do not understand English. Then third is that you gather people who know Hindi or other things. So you will have to find out from which region these workers are. It's not possible that all of them are working, all of them understand Hindi. So you will have to collect or gather those people who understand their language and who can speak in their language. So here what is happening, we are trying to find out that tool which influenced the process and which made this successful. So whenever we try to check the impact of the output, the feedback, and that how it is impacted the target audience, we go and try to check it on these 4 parameters, and with the help of this we can find out whether our feedback has successfully been received or has it failed. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay. So after this, we have 2 more case studies. This I wanted to run in the class so that you people can write the answers. What I am going to do to save time, I'm uploading this PPT. All of you are supposed to prepare 2 answers on the basis of 4-step model, BFIR. Okay, this is the first study and practice study.
Ma'am, 2 answers
Yes.
for 1 study?
No, for both. And I'll tell you the answers in the next lecture.
You mean 1 for 1 study, right?
But for all the 4 steps should be included.
Okay.
And don't go for very lengthy answers. You have seen that how I have prepared the answers. Although case studies, when you write the answers for case studies, they are elaborated ones. You have to explain everything there. But for this homework, I am exempting you from this. Okay, you don't need to go for very lengthy answers. Try to keep it short and simple with the help of 4-step model. Okay, so in the next lecture next week, we'll try to discuss the answers first, then we'll move to the other part. Okay. So if everything is clear to you, yes, Shubham, do you have anything to ask?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So I'll take your leave here. We'll continue in next lecture. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.